Welcome to the only main training session for the bye week. An absolutely beautiful day in Melbourne. I know at some point this is going to switch and I'm going to be out in the pouring rain, but for now, beautiful weather. Now you can see here that there was a bunch of players not training. Obviously, we know about Reef, Johnson. Elliot had a migraine today. Fly was saying Harrison could be deloading. Mitchell had that another foot injury, and then I just couldn't see Jacob Ryan. I'm saying that he's not there because I look for him, so I'm saying that he's not there, and of course a couple of players in the rehab group. Today was a little bit of fun to start with. You can see here with the soccer ball and a little bit of games and stuff like that. But it was pretty much just a fundamental training session and just getting the boys prepped for the bye. I think someone said that, this is the only main training session and then they have like 4 or something days off because we play Carlton on Thursday next week. And what people tend to forget is that Collingwood have played 3 teams in 12 days. Like, let that sink in. That's absolutely crazy. So, a lot of deloading, just in general. I think that there might be a training session on the weekend before a main session on Monday, captain's run on Wednesday, and then the game on Thursday. I went into the training session knowing that it wasn't going to be, someone's going to be absolutely standing out or anything like that because it would be a lighter day. But there were a couple of players that did sort of um, just go a little bit above and beyond. I think TJ is looking really, really, really good. The only thing with TJ, and you know, it'll come down to can he replace that or can he be that Reef replacement? Probably not at the start, but the thing with TJ, just a little bit of his disposal efficiency. Sometimes he just sort of blasts the ball with a kick and a hope. But other than that, bigger body now. Can hold his own as well, so he is looking really good. Just a little bit of that kicking disposal, just has to be a little bit more efficient going forward. I thought Ed Allen had a really, really good training session. He's just begging to be played in the seniors. We've talked about this, and we'll keep talking about this until he gets another game in the seniors. The boys were doing a couple of drills, this one in particular, where you would kick over the man in the mark, and then after about 5 minutes, they stopped that, and then you had to sort of play on, get around the man on the mark, and then kick it long down the line to a player. So that's just showing or telling me and telling us that we are, really locked into that run and gun game plan. You can see it here. That's pretty much what they were doing for most of the session, and even in the match sim a little bit later on in the mini match sim, it was very much just run and gun, run down the middle. The biggest thing for me this training session was who is going to replace Reef. Now, we talked about it in the VFL video that it'll most likely be Billy Frampton, and I remember talking about it a few months ago where it'll be almost horses for courses when we do play against Carlton, and you want Billy Frampton on that sort of Mackay type, that big body. Yes, he's not as agile as someone like a Charlie Dean or a TJ or a Reef, but he will give you that one-on-one contest. And for someone like Harry Mackay, uh, that's exactly what you need. You're not going to put a Moore or a Jeremy Howe on him, even though Jeremy Howe, and Moore to a certain extent, did towel up Aaron Norton last week, even when Reef went down. So Charlie Dean, I don't think he's going to play against Carlton. Billy Frampton had a good training session, but again, it was just fundamental, so no one's sort of starring in a match sim where Charlie Dean kept, Dan McStay to 0 goals or whatever it was like that. But fundamentally, everyone was looking really, really, really sharp. We talk about Nick Dacos a lot being a really great trainer where he's going at 110% all the time. But one guy that really impressed me today, you see him on screen right now, I know he just tripped there, unfortunate, it was very dewy this morning, was Lockie Schultz. He is just giving, kind of like how he plays, just giving every contest where he has the ball, even without the ball, just 110%. And I hadn't really noticed it until today. And the same goes with Ned Long. He was giving it as much as he could as well, breaking some tackles, tackling, and I think there was one point where Lockie Schultz got a hold of Nick Dacos as well. So those guys, they play like they train, and that's a big thing, right? You hear that all the time. You train, or you play how well you're training, and those couple of guys there are just training. I hate to say training the house down, but they're training really, really, really well. Our three draftees, so Cochrane, West, and Hayes. So they had a really good first hit out in the VFL. First, round one hit out was fantastic. I've got really big tickets on Joel Cochrane. Hayes could be that excitement package in the forward line, and we know Charlie West is just that big guy that, oh man, if he gets going, he'll absolutely get going. The thing with Hayes in this training session, Matthew Boyd and a guy that was there, Josh, who I was talking to, actually pointed this out to me. So shout out Josh. Said that Matthew Boyd was telling Hayes that he just needs to talk a little bit more because people don't know where he is when he's on the ground. So he just needs to use his voice a little bit more so people can use him, because when Hayes has the ball, magical things happen just with his speed, his agility, and his sense around goal. But with Cochrane and West, they were doing really well. I want to see Cochrane have a couple more a bigger stint in the VFL before I sort of make a judgment of if he can debut or not. But I dare say Cochrane could be that Reef replacement in, I don't know, 6 or so weeks if Frampton and Charlie Dean aren't working out.
And Maynard going, what do you think?
I don't know, like... But they were my big takeaways from this training session. Nice and easy as we, ease ourselves into the bye, get our bodies rested. Brody Mychek looked good and sort of unhindered from that general soreness, and so did Markov from that calf complaint. But anyway, guys, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, buy some merch, and until then, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.